Yes, everybody, welcome back to the Fixture List. My name's Stephen Howson. This is Joe Smith. That's pizza. Pizza's belting, in it.
Very good. Yeah, they've really done well with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been successful as well. It's like coffee, pizza. It's the one where there's hundreds of chains and they're all doing great.
Yeah. Right. Time's up. Solskjaer said. But does he, though?
He's kind of done it. He's the reports, like I said, coming out saying that, you know, Lingard, Pereira, done. They're getting sold. The Express was one of the people who've said it. I think usually I would say, oh, it's just a bit... He did say... He did drop him. He did say, you've got to improve your level or you're not playing. I mean, that is... we saw him screaming at Lingard during the City game.
We did. That's not being sold, though, for definite.
No.
That's not happy with where you are.
Yeah.
But I guess like it doesn't... You don't need to start doing long divisions to figure out that you get sold eventually if that continues. Ollie's ruthless.
Yeah, well, we've seen that as well. That's another thing. You add what he said, you add what he's done onto the fact that he's got rid of Sanchez, he's got rid of Lukaku, he's got rid of, you know, Herrera, who was a fan favourite and a decent player. Like, if you don't like, he's got rid of the club captain, Ashley Young. If you don't like it, you go in. And I think sometimes maybe we've let maybe one or two go without replacing him to a fault almost. But yeah, he's ruthless.
Right. I don't necessarily agree with this, but playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Like, that's almost him going into the dressing room and going, I'll fucking risk getting a sack to prove the point that I'm trying to change the culture of this football club. And I think even Pogba's being ruthless with.
Yeah, I do as well. He's obviously, the way he talks about Pogba, or doesn't really, I almost think he's not even thinking about Pogba. I think Pogba is
that's the right attitude.
A potential luxury that we might get for 10 games toward the end of the season, or not. And I think he's moving on, he's talking up Fernandes every time we talk about him. He's talking about how McTominay's work rate and his attitude and the fact that he's the leader in the dressing room. We don't really mention Pogba, does he?
No, I don't think. I think he's over him.
Yeah.
And I think I've been saying it since we signed Bruno. Is that I think Bruno is Pogba's replacement. You may see them play together, but I'm pretty sure that that's the role he's there to fulfil. If we get, I mean, I did a Patreon podcast earlier where I was looking at 5 potential signings that we could be bringing in, and I have no doubt whatsoever that we're not getting all these 5.
Yeah.
But literally 5 players transforms this team. 3 players transforms us into a team that can go toe-to-toe with City and Liverpool. The extra 2 would be enough to have us looking at being possible champions, I think. But that would be, the 3 that we're always kind of known about, which is Sancho, Grealish. Actually, there's only the 2 really.
They're the 2 big boys at the minute, aren't they?
The other 3 is what's going to make the difference, and for me that would be like Koulibaly, Niguez, and someone like a Werner. Now, I do think that there's a good chance that at least one of those is going to Liverpool.
Yeah.
But someone in that mould of that real traditional style number 9, those 5 players added into what we've currently got, and you go, oh, now we're here to play.
Yeah, if you've got someone who is a good finisher of a ball, but has excellent, attacking positioning, and you've got Sancho and Rashford and Fernandes feeding balls to them, again, all of a sudden you've got, someone who can get 25, 30 goals a season, and they don't have to be the best dribbler in the world like Martial is, not the best in the world, but he's an excellent dribbler, but you don't really need to be that if you're being supplied with a crap load of chances.
Well, you look at the type of goal Haaland scored since he's been at Dortmund, you don't need to be beating 5 players, because he ain't.
No, he ain't.
He's just one touching it into the back of the net very often. Very often. Something I think that could happen, I very much think that you could see Pogba go, possibly a couple of the other peripheries like Pereira, like Lingard, probably one more than both. I would think there's probably value in keeping one of them purely as backup because we've allowed so much to go.
Yeah.
But then I could honestly see something like Ighalo scores 6 goals and we go, fuck it, keep him.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even, obviously Greenwood's going to be here no matter what, but if you did have Sancho and Rashford and with Fernandes in behind, is there any reason why Greenwood couldn't get 20 goals next season? He's already got 11 this season.
Yeah.
13 if you include the Youth Cup. Like he's... it's not like he's he's got 4 goals, but he's looked dangerous. He's got 11. He's got double figures, and he's played like
his debut
800
season,
minutes.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like it's I think it's. I don't think it would be out of the question for him to step up next season. Maybe not the first choice striker, but if it was Martial and Greenwood the next season, I don't think that would be such a bad thing.
And Ighalo.
And Ighalo, yeah.
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that's like, yes, we've got a world-class attack, but I go,
Especially if you reinforce around him, you get, like I said, that does rely on us getting Sancho, and it does rely on us getting another midfielder that can make chances.
Yeah, if you had Grealish, Sancho, Bruno, Rashford playing off fucking whoever, that can be Marshall, Greenwood, that can be Ighalo. No, that is fine.
Yeah.
And we have seen that United have got one of the best clean sheet records in Europe. We just got to figure out a couple of little tweaks, and actually I think the performance level that you get could be absolutely multiplied because it's chance creation we struggle on.
Yeah.
Bruno's proven he can create chances on his own. You bring in Grealish in that, who's making way more chances than most of City and Liverpool's teams.
Yeah.
Way more chances on his own in a shit team.
Yeah.
You bring him in with runners. Think of Grealish with, he's coming in off the left-hand side of midfield probably, maybe as a number 10. He's got Bruno to his right. He's got Sancho on the far right. He's got Greenwood down the middle, or Marshall down the middle, and he's got Rashford to his left.
Amazing, isn't it?
Come on,
How
brother.
cool is that?
Come on.
And also, it's people underestimate.
And he socks halfway down his left.
How few goals, or how many less goals you concede when you score first and when you score more. Because how Watford looks so... They didn't look like scoring at all after we got the second goal. If we'd have got that second goal after 38 minutes, it's game over. And that happens so many times when you don't score, you miss those first couple of chances, and you allow teams back into games, you end up conceding because the pressure and the sort of the swing of momentum goes against you.
And not only that,
cut it out, score.
When you do what Liverpool and City have done over the last few years, where you put teams to the sword in the first half.
Exactly.
You get an easy second half.
Yeah, players get injured less because you don't have to work at 100% work rate. You can make your subs earlier. Your defence looks better all of a sudden. Yeah. Like a 35-year-old Vincent Kompany who couldn't run looked incredible in a title-winning City side 2 years ago or last season. And he wouldn't have looked good in this Man United side or last season's Man United side because he'd have been skinned every week because the midfield wasn't there. But if you're scoring those goals, the defence looks way better.
Some huge implications for the top 4 / top 5 race because the 5th place now has come into play. City have appealed, which we knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
It remains to be seen whether they get away with it. I don't think UEFA did them without having the grounds to do them, though. So I would say 5th place is probably going to be on the table. But maybe. I would like us to finish in the top 4 just to prove the point.
Yeah.
And
also,
we were
there's
good
always
enough
that
anyway.
thing, can they extend those appeals to next season?
Yeah.
That's my only worry.
Yeah.
It's not whether it'll be overturned, it's whether they'll
I'd be fucking gutted if you think you're going to get it and then they go zoink, the day after the season's over and you're like, fuck's sake.
Because it might be something even like, once those qualifiers start in June or July, then that counts as a new season. And I don't know the rules on that, but it might not be as far away as you think. Yeah,
so I'm like, no, let's finish 4th and prove a point, and if it goes to 5th place, sound.
Perfect.
But it doesn't matter.
No.
So we've got United obviously play Everton on Sunday. They're in decent form.
Yeah, good form. Second best form in the league up until the Arsenal game since Ancelotti came in.
But I do think their fragilities, and actually because they are in good form, I actually think that suits us.
Because it's like
teams who want to play against us, are better for us. It's teams that go fuck you and lock up. Like Watford came for us, and that left them open for us to do stuff. So massive implications around that game. United just have to take it a game at a time. Cliche-tastic. We just got to go every game. Like me and Mitch was walking back to the car after work the other day, and we said, "Can we win the next 12 games?" Fucking right, we can.
Yeah.
Will we though?
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah.
So you go. It's basically in our hands because we've still got everyone around us to play. It's in our hands to finish inside the top 4, but we're not going to do it, and we're not going to win them 12 games at least. But if you go game by game and just hopefully just take it with that sort of mentality, I think United can do it, and I think we can comfortably do it as well.
We've got a few tough games coming up, haven't we? I think
belters, really good games.
Cup games.
I'm not worried.
We've got Spurs. We've got Spurs, City, and Everton all in the next month. And we've got Derby in the Cup, and we've got Bruges in the Cup.
Yeah, and we've got
Europa League as well. Isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about. If you don't like this shit, then you don't. Well, I don't know what you just like transfer windows.
I can't wait.
Like what the fuck, man? We've got Tottenham versus Wolves, massive implications. 6th versus 8th.
Yeah.
That is, like, I don't know if I want Wolves to pick the points up there or
Always
probably best for Wolves. I think because Wolves are the furthest away from us. I think so. Obviously, that's pulling the points sort of barrier again, lower.
Spurs don't have any strikers for the rest of the season, so their potential to drop points, again, almost like we were saying before, because they're not scoring, that pressure on their defence is increased.
Yeah, Mathis.
They're gonna be struggling to win games for the rest of the year probably. So I always take a draw. Both teams losing 4 points. 4 points dropped overall is the most you can have in those sorts of ties. So I wanted to draw with Spurs Chelsea last week, and I want to draw with this one as well.
Right, Chelsea playing Bournemouth this weekend.
Yeah.
Now that is a game with wide-ranging implications for the top 4 race and the relegation race. If Chelsea lose, they could drop out of the top 4. And I think the form they're in at the minute, they're going to struggle to get back in.
Because they've been top 4 like almost all season, haven't they?
Feels
I
like
think
it.
I can't because they started really well
Frank
with Abraham scoring loads of goals.
Yeah,
and I think, like I said, they've almost had this like top 4 buffer where our form's actually all right because we're still top 4. Well, it's actually not. And like I said, if they drop out, we've just seen them get demolished by Bayern Munich. They even though they beat Spurs last week, I think they've lost 8 games at home this season. And that doesn't fill a team with confidence when you don't have a
fortress Stamford Bridge, is it?
Exactly. So I reckon if Bournemouth away as well, Bournemouth haven't been very good, but
Bournemouth lose, they're in the relegation zone, probably. Probably, depending on results, but probably in the relegation
We've
zone.
seen United lose there this season as well, so it's not the easiest of games, especially if your forwards aren't firing.
And they play
again,
football.
Another problem with Chelsea, their forwards aren't firing.
Generally. They do generally play football.
Yeah, they do.
I know they've had injuries this season, which might contribute to why they've been as bad as they are. I mean, around Christmas, or before Christmas even, there was talk of Eddie Howe getting a bigger job because of how well they were doing, but, you know, we've had that many games around Christmas that a squad with a couple of players missing, you just go right off the pace.
Yeah, because you play 11 games in about 6 weeks, and you're just gone.
Yeah, and you're like, I could see top. What the
Sorry,
fuck?
mate, them's the rules, boy. Them's the rules.
So, predictions going into this weekend, then, how do you think Chelsea Bournemouth's going to go?
I do think Chelsea will win, but I think it's going to be scrappy, and I think it'll be. I don't think they'll be extending that goal difference much. I think it'll be maybe 1-0, 2-1. I think it's going to be a tough one for them, that.
I'm going to say 0-0.
0-0. Yeah, I could see that as well. Abraham's not scoring. He's on the bench against Bayern. Giroud can get a goal here and there, but he's getting on a bit now.
They're talking about, we're so depleted. Not really.
No.
Not really. You've still got a belt in midfield, which should be enough to do everything.
Yeah, and they've got Batshuayi in as well, and again, he's not
numbers.
particularly great, but they've got plenty of numbers. The quality isn't there for them.
United Everton. It's away.
Was it away at Everton last season?
Yeah.
That's the worst game, maybe the worst game I've ever seen from United. Or it's certainly in that...
It was Ollie's worst game.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
It's in that upper bracket of diabolical performances where there's a handful of games in my lifetime that were there. So
that's up there with the Olympiacos away under Moyes
horrific.
And Anfield away under Jose.
Yeah.
And I'm not ssure Louis had games that bad. There was some real bad ones, but I think that was a new...
It was like the players didn't care. The fans had, Solskjaer looked lost for words. It was horrendous. But hopefully, we are seeing a bit of a comeback. This Bruno Fernandes seems to have changed the squad a little bit, doesn't he? He's just turned things in a slightly more positive direction, even if it's just mentally. I think we'll get a result. I think it'll be 2-1. I think they'll score, but I think we'll get 2-1.
1-0. I think we're going to keep the clean sheets going.
Yeah.
And we're going to scrap something somehow. Probably another penalty. Whenever we're on fuming. VAR penalty.
I'll take it. VAR penalty all
day. VAR penalty, 1-0 United. Yeah. Which means...
We're fourth.
We're fourth. And then, obviously, Spurs and Wolves. How's that one going?
I do think it will be a draw. I think that's going to be tough for both teams. I think 1-1. Not predicting many goals, are we? Say like 4-all or something.
Okay. 4-3 Wolves.
Oh, what a game! Tune in for that one.
No, 3-2 Wolves.
Okay,
3-2 Wolves.
Lost 2 goals
there.
Yeah,
I shit it. I just shit my pants. I was like, no, it's too many goals. All right, yeah, 3-2
I'll take that
Wolves.
though, yeah. I'll take 3-2 Wolves. I'd like a 3-2 Wolves is like 3-2-1 in it. Just sorry. I'd take that. I prefer a draw, so I'm going to stick with 1-1. So that's Premier League sorted. What's going on in Europe? Must be something.
What are you doing that with your hands for?
Because I'm sort of declaring one thing over and another thing beginning.
That was really weird. I'm going to say that was really weird. In Europe, there's the biggest game, probably... Is it the biggest club game in world football?
El Clásico?
Yeah, that's... I mean, I was building up to it, but yeah. Yeah, it's the biggest game in world football, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's got to be on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be. Joe, United and City do more views than it.
Really?
By like threefold.
I'm not surprised.
Outrageous more. I don't know if that's just because there's better access to Premier League than there is for La Liga. That's probably more
It's
down
really
to the
been
reason.
branded out, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to do this again.
First versus second. Barcelona 2 points ahead. Eden Hazard has actually decided he's injured now rather than just looking like he's fucking injured.
Yeah.
He's been shit, hasn't he?
He has been really poor.
1 goal.
1 goal in the league, I think, maybe 1 goal in the cup or
What
in
do you
Europe
say?
as
He looks
well.
like a fat cam.
Yeah.
In a Real Madrid
The producer we've got is, but he came back from pre-season a little bit chubsy, didn't he?
He did a
little bit chubsy indeed. I reckon we should get some inside knowledge, a bit of betting tips on this one.
Oh, I don't know if we know anyone who knows anything about thingy. Dean!
All right, guys. I know a little bit.
Yes.
What's going on in El Clásico?
So, football tips, we're looking for Barcelona to win this one. They've not lost in the last 7 La Liga El Clásicos. Won the last 3 domestic games. Real Madrid, as I'm sure you know, have struggled a little bit in the last few games. Only picked up 1 point from the last 2 games. So we can see Barca winning this one at 21-10. But you can get our full tips over at Football Tips and some live stream info because the game isn't on Sky or BT. So look out for that.
Oh, the link for that will be in the description. Why are you thinking Barcelona? Because actually, Real Madrid have been shit, but if they win this, they go top.
Yeah, but now Barca are after that last couple of defeats. So obviously there's issues with the forwards. Suarez is out and Dembele's out, which is why they've had to bring Braithwaite in. But Griezmann's starting to hit a little bit of form now, and obviously Messi scored 4 last weekend. So yeah, we're on Barca, 21-10.
Do you reckon Braithwaite's still waking up and just laughing in the mirror every morning?
I mean, you would think Griezmann and Messi is a decent enough, strike partnership for you not to have to buy someone else's best player off him in the middle of a season.
And how mad is it that they got away with doing that, by the way? And they was like, we've got an emergency, so we're taking your player. And they're like, hang on, don't we now have an emergency for not having our player? Like,
yeah, we're going to buy him back off you. But his release clause is now 10 times what it was when you had him.
Mental, innit?
Yeah, it's mental. It's a bit unfair, really, innit? I know it's the rules, but come on. Messi and Griezmann will get you through, I'm sure.
I know that's what the football tips is, but what's your feeling on it, Dean? Who do you reckon's winning it and why?
Yeah, I think Barcelona. I just think they're in better form at the moment. I think Real Madrid, without Hazard, I know Hazard's not really done as much as we were expecting. I think he's only scored once in the season. But,
proper fuck all. He's done proper fuck all. Like, if he hadn't have played, I think they'd have been like...
Yeah. It's been nothing, really, has he? It's weird, that, isn't it? I know he is good, though.
Didn't Chelsea fans say he was like the greatest ever Premier League player?
He always had spells, didn't he, where he struggled for form, and he's obviously had that this season with the injuries as well. But I think even with him at better form, I still think Barcelona are a better side, to be honest. So.
And they always seem to win the Clásicos, don't they? Barca do. Messi's the top scorer ever in Clásicos, 26 goals, is it, something like that?
That's what the notes say, yeah.
Oh, I hadn't read them. That's just top of the box, that one. Yep. 21-10 sounds pretty good as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's not bad, that. Is that an offer?
No, that's the normal price. Real are favourites, probably due to being at home, but they've only won 1 of the last 10 El Clásicos, so you're right, they're not in great form.
Yeah. I think that's a good odds.
That is good odds. What's a draw?
Oh, you're asking me now.
Score.
What?
It's when 2 teams get the same score.
Right. I did have it. The draw is 11-4. So, it's not a bad price either, to be fair. I think the price is definitely on Barca.
I'm gonna go with a draw, me. I think. What do you reckon?
I think Messi's just the difference in El Clásicos, isn't it? The amount of times he's scored, 26, if my memory serves. But he just always seems to turn up, especially with the Bernabeu. I reckon they might embarrass him. 2 or 3-0 up after 20 minutes. Yeah.
Cheers, Dino.
Cheers, guys. Speak to you soon.
Huddersfield are smashing Super League this year, 3 from 3, looking on fire.
Is that a surprise?
A little bit. I mean, they're a solid team, a team that you'd kind of go, but they'd be a surprise if they won it, but not a surprise. Like, you'd think Leicester, solid,
right.
Not surprised they're in and around the top.
Then they did win it, so maybe they got a chance. And so, with 3 games in, how long is a season? Is this a decent kind of sample size for how good they're going to be?
3 games in is never a good sample size, is it? I mean, they've actually got a game in hand on Wigan, who are in second, who they play this weekend.
Who've already played 4 times? Unbelievable.
Cheating. So, I think with anything, you've got to get 7, 8, 9, 10 games in. The good thing is, like Salford did last year, you can kind of be out of it and make a late charge for the playoffs and end up in the final.
That's the good thing about playoffs, but it's also, as a spectator, that's the bad thing about playoffs, isn't it? Because, like, why do I even care about these games? Nothing. They don't really matter. No. It is all just building towards something that happens at the end, no matter what.
Yeah, and that was, you saw a bit of a fall off. I think it was after they won the Challenge Cup. Warrington had a massive fall off in the league, but they were so far ahead in second because they were going head to head with Saints for the league. for the longest part of the season. Then around Challenge Cup semis and final time, they properly fell off, but they still finished inside the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like, it's not.
cares?
But ultimately, did that affect them going into the playoffs then? Because they had to try and switch up the momentum.
Yeah, because it's the same with a lot of American sports do that, don't they? Like basketball, they play like 72 games, but it's like 40 of them don't really matter.
We're in the playoffs, yeah, so
yeah,
it's fine.
because we're in the playoffs,
And
yeah.
we'll sort it out in the playoffs. So obviously we got Salford third from bottom, 1 win.
You're not happy about that, are you?
I'm not happy about that, no, but not unexpected. It's just disappointing. I've said this every single episode so far this year. We've gone and allowed 3 genuine top-class players to leave and signed like 15 players who were a bit ordinary. Williams looks good, the winger that looks like Mo Salah, who got a little bit of fame, didn't he, the other week?
He went viral, didn't he?
See, I said that the week before.
Yeah,
Jesus, he really looks like Mo Salah.
it.
And then he gets running away, and then
You'd have been a millionaire by now.
that's how it works, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
I think you get like 10p a retweet.
The government sends you the cash.
It's internet theoretical dollars. I don't know how you cash them in like.
No, I don't either.
But yeah, Salford only the 1 win, and that's obviously against Toronto, who like I said, I'm not that impressed with. Wolves bang in the middle. St Helens, they've won 2 out of their opening 3. Wigan versus Huddersfield this week. Let's see if a man that we know knows why they're killing it. Big J, why are Huddersfield smashing it this year? Or just cut that if he doesn't call.
He doesn't think they can beat him. Unbelievable. His own team.
This weekend we've got Toronto against St Helens, as we mentioned. Wigan against Huddersfield. We've got Leeds against Warrington. Hull against Castleford.
Didn't Leeds used to be dead good?
Well good.
I remember when I was like in my late teens, they just won it every year, didn't they?
Every year.
What's happened there?
Don't know.
Because I remember it was always Leeds have won it again, Leeds have won it again.
Yeah, Leeds were phenomenal. And then, St Helens of late have just been that dominating force. Yeah, Leeds, all the time, I was growing up as a teenager and young adult, and that Leeds was just phenomenal.
Because they are the sort of the biggest single kind of area of any team, aren't they? They're bigger than Hull, bigger than Warrington.
How big's Toronto?
Forget Toronto.
How about London?
Again, don't count.
Okay.
Because it is, of the sort of home area, that kind of...
You mean the M62 corridor?
Yeah.
Is Leeds bigger than Hull? Probably isn't.
Way bigger.
But in terms of a rugby town, there's not many places that have 2 fucking rugby teams and only 1 football team. Hull's so unique in that sense, isn't it?
Yeah, Hull is a cool place.
I used to play rugby in Hull.
Did you?
Yeah, for West Hull.
Which
I found out the other day. The team I was in is the greatest amateur rugby league team ever.
What's the metric that's judged
They
by?
just won consecutive national conference titles.
Really? So do people get plucked from that very often into...
Oh, God, yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if that was more like Sunday League, where it's like some of these players used to play in academies, but they were never really going to make it back in.
Oh, no, that was... in rugby league, certainly when I was playing, back in there, it was such a long time ago now, you had under-19s and under-21s as your academies. And the under-21s was called Alliance, and there was always a handful of first-teamers that would play in that as well. It wasn't enforced strictly under-21s. There'd be 30-odd-year-olds in there. I remember playing against St Helens, and there's a guy called Stankovic, or Stinky Bitch, as everyone on our team decided to call him. Well immature.
It goes without saying.
Well immature.
He was asking for it.
And he was a first-team player. He absolutely fucking bent me in half. Like, literally, I thought he broke my back, yeah.
That's what you get for calling him Stinky Bitch, isn't it?
But, like, there isn't really anywhere else to recruit from. After your 19s and after your 21s, that's really it. You're looking down the leagues to the Northern Ford Premiership, as it was at the time.
I know there is a few, but what's the international kind of, presence in rugby league? Is it mostly British players?
You've got Australia, New Zealand, and then a lot of the Pacific Island teams. Tonga, Papua New Guinea, Fiji.
And people kind of pluck players from there?
They're good. They're usually good standard of player. Tonga especially. They're just frightening. And then you've got Lebanon, weirdly, is a strange one that seems to have it. Jamaica's doing bits lately as a rugby league team. But then, you're looking at home nations. France. I think around Europe, that's pretty much only France is the big one. Yeah. The international scene in rugby league's a little bit on the disappointing side, but there is a World Cup here next year. We should probably get in touch with the geezers at the World Cup because they're doing a bit of a tour. They might let us have the trophy.
Have it on the show? What's it look like?
massive silver vase.
Yeah, I want it. I want it on here.
Honestly, about that big.
Here
it's
now.
Fucking huge.
It's not like Stanley Cup though, is it?
Not quite, but not
It's
far
bigger.
off.
It's a big
ball.
like the Europa League trophy kind of thing.
Wider.
Really?
Yeah, it's fucking massive.
Yeah, I'm into that. We need to get that on here.
It's been doing tours. Like, sure what? Let's try.
Let's try and get that.
Let's try.
Next week.
We want the World Cup trophy in here before the World Cup, because the World Cup's in England next year. Obviously, we're going to be going to a lot of them games, I think.
So we've got 1 year to get ourselves the World Cup trophy.
Yeah.
I'm up for that challenge.
Are we going to do it?
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
I think
We're
we'll
definitely
do it.
going to do it.
Yeah.
Because I think I've got more followers than like pretty much most of the Super League teams.
Show off.
So let's.
And I've got less.
So let's rinse that fact.
Yeah, let's get that sorted then. I reckon we should get a little bit of a look forward to the weekend, a few tips. We should get Dave from Betting Pro on.
Do you reckon Dave from Betting Pro? How's it going, mate?
You there, mate?
Not so bad, lads.
What have you got for us in terms of a tip? This is actually the first Rugby League tip that we've actually had on the show, even though we have spoke about League every single week, haven't we?
Yeah.
No pressure then. A bit of a bold one this week. I'm backing Toronto Wolfpack together, their first win of the season against the champion St Helens. I know it sounds silly, but first win this weekend against Saints for me.
Why?
They had a really, really tough game against Sydney in the World Club Challenge at the weekend. And history does show that the week after, you struggle. The intensity, it's a lot different to a Super League game. And a couple of players went in with a few niggles. I don't think James Roby will play this weekend. It was his first game last week of the season. And I don't know. I've watched Toronto a few times this season, and they're not far away. And Saints, they like to change things around a bit. They lost to London twice last year, who were the promoted side. So Sonny Bill and John Wilkin, I'm going for Toronto this weekend.
What odds are we looking at on that?
11-2 for Toronto to win that one.
Right, if you fancy that, and I don't know why you would, the link for that is in the description. Honestly, I think that is the craziest call we've had on here so far.
I like it. I like the description. I like the reasoning behind it.
Right, but
Like coming back from
this
Europe.
is a Toronto team that got dealt with by Salford, right? And Salford, they got beat by St Helens. Well, St Helens was still in the dressing room. They beat them so handily, so comfortably that I just don't see how this Toronto team... And yeah, all right, obviously there's a lot of hype around Sonny Bill, but he's done fuck all. He's done nothing. I think we all want him to be a success and them to be a success. But is he?
The game against Salford, the reason Toronto were in that game with 10 minutes to go was because of Sonny Bill. His offloads in the tackle set up all the attacks. He didn't play against Wigan, and they did well for 60, 65 minutes. And against Warrington, they could have won it. They had a try disallowed 2 minutes before Warrington got the winner, and they were 16-0 down at one stage. There's a lot of fight in them, and I just think Saints will be a bit lethargic after last week.
I like it. I'm going for that one.
It's bold.
11-2.
It is bold. He said it was going to be bold. It's absolutely bold. I think it's mental, if you're asking me. I think it's mental. There's no way. The Saints team's a machine. They're not getting done by them. I don't think so. Anyway.
Full team though this week.
Makes sense.
Are you giving us a tip for the boxing as well?
We've done a three fight acca for this weekend. We've gone Garcia, Yafai and Parker all to win.
Ooh, what's the odds on that?
12-1. It's Garcia and Yafai by decision, and Parker in rounds 3 to 4.
See, that's a lot more sensible and better odds than the absolute mayhem that you've just given us there for Toronto to win. I'll phone you up and apologise if you get this right.
I can't wait until Toronto
but
win, by the way.
We're not speaking next week.
I can't wait until Toronto win. They're going to win. I heard it. They're going to win.
All right, cheers, Dave. If you want to check those out, the links for those will both be in the description below. That's for the boxing acca and also Dave's ridiculous bet for Toronto and St Helens this weekend.
Over these last few weeks, we've got quite into a little bit of horse racing, haven't we?
I mean, what do you mean by getting quite into it?
Trot.
We've had a call from Ross every week, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm about, yeah.
Right, got you.
Should we do that again?
No. Here's
Right.
what I have learned.
Go on.
Cheltenham Festival's coming up.
Yeah. Where is it? You didn't learn that 2 minutes ago, did you?
No, I did. Did I stop myself asking the question? Yes, I did.
Yeah,
so therefore, I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
Hi, Ross.
How's it going, guys? I'm really pleased that you haven't yet ridden a horse, though, because with that hand technique that you just displayed, there'd be a few scared horses knocking around.
No, I was being the horse. Do you know when they do like dressage and they got the little trotty footers on? I was being the horse.
We've got to be very careful what we say about that.
Do you know what? I've seen his Amazon basket.
Nay.
Right, Ross, is there any racing on this weekend?
There's always racing on every weekend. It's not a brilliant weekend, to be honest, because everyone's counting down now to the Cheltenham Festival in Cheltenham, 10 days away. So there's not the greatest horses on show, but of course something's got to win every race. So the plan is to give you a tip that's pretty decent price that might get in some decent each way money.
Do it.
Right, the horse is called Jerry's Back. It's in the 3:15 at Newbury. At the moment, it's about 8-1, 10-1. Those odds will probably collapse a little bit before the race time. There's still a decent each way price. Now, every horse, I think I'm contracted to say, tries hard every time they run. You know, there's no cheating. There's nothing like that going on.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that this horse may not have put it all in the last couple of runs.
Woo! Sandbagged it.
Yeah.
And so this could be the day for it. At Newbury, 3:15, 8-1. Suspect there'll be a bit of money for it on the day. So if you want to back it,
8-1's a belting price, isn't it? What's it called again?
Jerry's Back.
Jerry's Back.
Which was the original name for World War II. Before they changed it.
How did last week's do? Didn't you have one that was an absolute... He's definitely winning last week?
Yeah, he didn't definitely win. So.
No way!
If you went back to the track, he's probably still there jumping his way round. He was beaten that far. So, I don't know. I've forgotten about him. Let's move on.
Don't talk about him.
So, Cheltenham. Right, I've got a big question because for me, I think Cheltenham is the champion of marketing because they all just decided Cheltenham's a big deal, so it's a big deal.
Yeah.
That just, I think, like all of the sports channels and everything, they go mental over it and everything. You just go, why are you going mental? Why can't you just decide that they go mad over Cattrick on the November 1st? Do you know what I mean? Is it just, why is it a big deal? Is it a big deal because it's a big deal?
It's basically a big deal because you get two countries combining, England and Ireland, Irish fans, English fans, all got their own favourite horses. All of them will be running. There's like national rivalry. People love to see who's going to come out on top, Britain or Ireland. If you go to Catterick, you see one man and his dog. Over at Cheltenham, you see 70,000 men and about 250 horses. You know, much better.
That sounds great.
Sounds a bit like the Somme, if I'm being honest.
A lot of war talk today.
All right, are we going to speak next week then? Is it next week we're going to be talking about Cheltenham or is it going to be the week after?
It is the week after, so Tuesday the 10th of March is when Cheltenham starts, but, you know, we can do a bit. That would be perfect. We can talk about Cheltenham, get a few tips in for that week.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to go big for Cheltenham, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to pick some horses.
Should we get some tuxedos?
What?
For the show?
To do the show in?
Yeah.
I've got a tweed jacket.
Perfect.
Do a tweed jacket. I need a hat. Suggest me a hat. I'll go and get a hat. I'll send bits out for a hat.
It's going to end up being, we're going to be Dumb and Dumber, aren't we? Like purple and orange. Thinking we're there ready for Cheltenham. It's Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, we fucked it here, lads. Never mind. Cheers, Ross.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Do you know what I was thinking about the other day?
What?
I was thinking, in the 90s, right?
Yeah. The 1990s?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm glad you asked.
Because there's been loads.
There's been others. Oldham, simultaneously, I think, I'm sure there was an overlap, had a Super League team and a Premier League team.
Really?
Which is mental for Oldham.
How many people live in Oldham? Like 15,000 or something? Not many, is there? That's really good, though, isn't
Not
it?
many that aren't well fat.
Yeah. When
I can say that because I am fat.
Yeah, but you're not from Oldham. Be glad that you're not from Oldham. I've never been to Oldham. What's it like?
Do you know what we was talking about going to...
Yes, I remember that. Say no more. But they had a Premier League team and a Rugby League team. Now they've got neither. I know they're not far. What league are they in? League One?
League One feels about
And whereabouts are they in Super League? Have they still got a team at all?
Yeah, they're in the Championship.
So they've just, they've dropped off.
It might be in League One.
Tough that though,
They're not good though.
It's hard to sustain
Like,
that.
I follow them on Twitter, and the Army got to the 4th round of the Challenge Cup though.
The real Army?
The Army.
Why
Her Majesties.
I tell you what I like about the Army, because when you grow up you just think they're just sat in like bunkers all the time. But they're doing loads of stuff. You went skiing, they're doing rugby, they're doing like, fixing stuff and that. They're doing loads of stuff, aren't they, the Army? It's like a proper thing.
When I was out there skiing,
Yeah.
there was a general turned up. Now, I think I don't know how you get to be a general. I got to the high ranks of corporal.
Is that high? Is that low?
No.
Okay. I only know Call of Duty.
Generals, don't worry about that. Worry about other stuff.
Okay.
So I had to go pick a general up. And I think the higher the rank that you get, the more you don't give a fuck.
Yeah, of course.
They're awesome and crazy.
Yeah.
It's always middle managers that are a pain in the dick, innit, right?
Yeah.
Always. No, this general went and picked him up, and he had an Army bobsleigh, like onesie sort of affair on. No, it was like a big padded thing, like a jacket and matching pants.
Nice.
And I was like, Army bobsleigh, and he was like, yeah. And I was like, how would you get into that? And he was like, just give us your details, I'll put you in the thing. And I was like, seriously? And he was like, yeah. And I was
never did bobsleigh.
No, I didn't. I got honey-dicked.
I'd have loved it.
But I was like, that's... If you look at a lot of the weird Olympic sports, especially Winter Olympics, it is soldiers. Because they're like, can I try that? And they're like, yeah.
And also stuff like, if you think about it, one of the Olympics is like skiing and shooting.
Yeah, that's what I did, biathlon.
That is literally
soldiering.
Army. Yeah.
Soldiering.
Yeah, if you're fighting like a Swedish person, that's how you have to catch them.
Yeah.
Although they've probably got their advantage.
There was loads of people that entered that, because a lot of the Nordic skiing, the biathlon, that sort of stuff, that is it's a lot of soldiering type of skills. There's map reading, things like that, sometimes involved in it if it's not just a straight circuit. So they love people doing that sort of stuff. And all of those different sort of sports, even your bobsleigh and all that, they're just shooting, archery, pistol shooting. There's obvious connections to the military to go and do all those sports. And a lot of those British Olympians are British soldiers. I think one of the cyclists at the minute is a former paratrooper.
Really?
Pretty sure he's or a Marine, one of the two. So, that's one of the benefits of being in the Army, is that you get the opportunity to do that. And things like the Army Rugby League side, which is just selected from everybody in the Army, they're not in the professional ranks, but
you said it was a good
reason,
standard as well, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was well good. I really struggled to get into the Army team, and I was playing in professional academies. So the Army side's a really good side, and they come up against Rochdale, which I think is a League One team, possibly a Championship team.
Is that a professional team?
Yes.
Yeah.
And obviously the Army's just soldiers essentially, and they got done in. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Not embarrassed.
Well,
it was like a good beating.
Yeah.
Like they would, like Rochdale would put on somebody else in their league. So one thing with the Army, you're always going to know they're going to be in good condition, and they should fight fairly hard.
Yeah, they're going to have a decent kind of like work rate.
Yeah.
Not going to give up.
But you think like technical skills wise, they're probably not going to be on the same level as Rochdale. They're going to need a lot of luck and like a serious defence to be able to get a win here. But the fact, they put some really good sides out on the way. I think they beat York in the previous round. So well done to the.
And they're not allowed to like, not threaten, but sort of like assemble some sort of rifle at the side of the pitch, putting the silencer on, like, keep doing that, lads. We'll like polishing like the stuff and like making the other team.
Yeah, even make
themselves.
a joke like the try line's mind.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say to all the time, shouting from the touchline, get kicked out of the Army, but it's worth it. You've got to try and get to that 5th round, don't you?
Yeah, I only ever played inter-service against Marines, played against the Navy, and who else did we play? Played someone really random.
Do you have camo kit?
No.
Oh, you should do.
It's red.
So someone just lays down on
like
the floor.
Like the Coldstream Guards. Red is the Army colour, isn't it?
Makes sense.
They should have a camouflage kit, though.
Like the away kit, the 3rd kit, camo kit.
Well, they do some belting kits that they sell to the public, which are all poppy related and stuff like that, from the remembrance and that. And then I think they give all the proceeds of that to British Legion, which is pretty awesome.
That sounds really good.
Joe, I'll probably get one because they're a fucking wicked kit.
Get one.
Yeah, I'm going to get one.
Wait 1 week on this.
So I was actually hoping to go watch one of them games, but last weekend I was away in the Lakes. That was when they played. The week before, I was at the Salford game. Like, just dipped out. So, still waiting for other mad sports to go and experience.
You know what's it? Don't worry about rugby. Rugby's too basic.
Too mainstream.
I've got a list for you.
Okay.
And this is complete list of unusual sports.
Right.
Now, this is what we want to be at. Yeah, we've seen football, we've seen rugby, we've seen, you know, your classic sports, your shot put.
Do you know what I just thought soon?
Go on.
The Tour de Yorkshire.
Tour de Yorkshire's a great one. In April, that comes through Yorkshire. Tour de Yorkshire
But
sounds
it
like
comes
it's a
through
joke
Manchester
as well,
and
doesn't
that. It came all the way through Manchester last year.
Perfect. We can have a go on that. But even
I'm
that...
not wearing Lycra though.
Even that... Yes, you are. We both are. Even that, we've got on a tandem bike and we've both got Lycra on with those big helmets that come back.
Going all the way down to a
aliens,
point.
like Alien's head from Alien.
That's when you go for a piss, wearing all that, get up, and you do that in the stalls.
Take someone's eye out.
Yeah, that's got to be dangerous.
Perfect. But even that's a bit too mainstream.
Okay.
I'm talking... I'll hit you with a couple of these. You give me a quick yes or no. Quick fire.
Okay.
Baby Olympics.
What?
That's not yes or no, is it?
What is a fucking
A
what?
competition for children aged between 2 and 4 years competing in athletics, gymnastics, football, basketball, and hear this, weightlifting. 2-year-old.
Wait, I didn't
What
show you a
division-
picture.
what-
I didn't show you a picture.
Okay, slightly worried about this one, but is that you still haven't said yes or no on the Baby Olympics? Are you having a think? You
I
thinking
was
about
waiting
it,
to
are you?
hear.
Oh wow, that's your child holding quite sturdily a 6-kilogram dumbbell. Kettlebell.
Trying to get her to lift it yesterday.
See, she could be in the Baby Olympics. And then if she's in it, we're definitely going. We get competitors
Team
like
Blake.
Team Blake. So is that yes or no, Baby Olympics?
Yeah, fuck it.
That's a yeah. Bathtubing.
What?
That's where you get in a bath and you row.
Yeah, I'm in.
You're in?
I'm fucking well in, yeah.
Beard
Does it have the plug hole sealed up? Or is that part
whoever
of
loses,
the fun?
they have to pull it out.
Oh, but is that part of the fun? Like, you have to win before you
sinking
sink?
ship. I don't think that's part of the fun, but we could suggest that when we're there.
Yeah. We got a new rule announcement, fellas.
Beard and moustache championships.
I reckon there's older gentlemen with shit that they have to tuck in their pockets. We look like children compared to them.
Do you mean the testicles?
No, I'm talking about they've got beards so long it goes in their pocket.
Sorry, miscommunication there. Beer sculling, and my notes just say, get it down fast. We've got to do that.
Right, I'm better than Americans.
Right.
But I don't reckon I'm like international level drinking.
Right. Okay, we'll move on from that then.
Maybe we go and see what the standard is.
You're not interested in that, but can I interest you in black pudding throwing? Competitors
That's
throw...
got to be in Burnley.
Competitors throw lumps of black pudding at Yorkshire puddings piled atop a platform. You have to get a black pudding in a Yorkshire pudding.
Right, that's definitely Burnley.
That's a yes.
Where is it?
Just give me a second. Let me just check. This one is in... Ooh.
It's got to be in Lancashire. It's got to be.
There's a lot of mention of Lancashire and Yorkshire in here. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. Is that a yes, though, yeah?
Yeah. There was noise coming from the back. We're going to choose to ignore it.
Yeah.
I don't know what they said.
This one just
It sounded like... Oh.
This one just sounds like what we used to do at school. Bottle kicking.
What?
That don't count. That's a no.
No.
Bog snorkeling.
What the fuck?
Basically, pop a snorkel on, swim through poo. Thoughts?
No.
Car curling.
What?
I could do this all day, Steve.
Car curling?
Yeah, basically they push cars on ice. Try and get a Citroen Saxo to hit a Mini Cooper.
Yes!
Perfect.
Now! Yes! Can we do that today?
Camel wrestling.
That's to wrestle a
I think
camel.
that might be illegal. No, that says 2 camels up against each other. That can't be legal in Britain.
No, we're saying no for that.
We're not having that.
RSPCA are gonna say
Camel
no to that.
jumping, on the other hand, clean jump a group of camels.
Why are you allowed to make animals jump over shit and walk on them little walkways, but they can't have a scrap?
No, this is humans jumping over camels.
What?
Yeah. If you've got like 5 camels laid out sideways, someone's going to hop over
Evil
them.
Knievel it?
Yep.
What if one of them stands up?
I don't know.
You get the ump.
Wee. Couple more. Egg and spoon race, elephant soccer, extreme ironing.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
What is it?
It's not a thing. You just took a photo of yourself ironing in random place. Like when I was in Afghanistan and Iraq, lads was trying to do that in like...
I'm going to save some of these for next week. I'm going to finish finger jousting. You win, Steve. Bloody hell, you got a knack for that. You've jousted before, haven't you,
Finger
pal?
jouster.
Yeah.
Since the 80s.
Bloody hell. Seriously.
We still need sports to go and watch.
Yeah. I reckon we can get to a couple of them.
I want to go car curling.
We'll go car curling. I'll look into it. We'll get it sorted.
I'll see if my insurance covers me.
Oh, well, you're entering?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Can
I sweep the brush?
Yeah, it's a rear-wheel drive, so I reckon that gives you some major disadvantages on ice. But
That sounds great.
But fuck it, I only live once, and I can't wait to die.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, suggest us some.
Yeah.
In fact, give us dates. Make a calendar for us and go.
Yeah.
Oi, dickheads. There you go. You're coming to these. And as we mentioned to Ross earlier, I think we should probably go and try to go to somewhere at Cheltenham. Decker sorts tickets.
They'll get us tickets to Cheltenham, yeah.
I'm sure they would.
We'll go.
If they what, I'll just moan
Yeah, we'll definitely go. I want to be there drinking,
in a dress.
I don't have to wear the dress.
You really want to?
I don't want. Do you know what? I'll be honest. It's not the dress I want to wear. It's the hat. I want the flowery hat. The dress I can take it or leave
Mate,
it.
it's 2020. You
Exactly.
can do what you want.
I want the hat.
And no one can give you any shit for it.
Tuxedo and a hat.
Mint.
Tuxedo and a hat.
Mint. Right, thank you guys for tuning in. If you want to see what Ross had to say from GG for this weekend's tips, we're not talking about last weekend's tips that he got totally wrong, but if you want some of them that are right, possibly this weekend. If you want to see what Dave had for the wrong tips that he thinks Toronto's going to beat St Helens.
I'm looking forward to that one. I think he's bang on.
That's in the link in the description, and also for the El Clásico one, 21 to 10 is really good value.
That is a good value for Barca.
For Barcelona to win this weekend. If you feel like it's going to go like that, if not, let us know in the comments. Everything else, and thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and enjoy the game tonight. I imagine. See you in a bit.